Yo, what's happening, people? This is the solarkidd. This is my podcast, The Other Side of the Sun. And today we have the lovely Empress One Emmanuelle, Princess Emmanuelle. How many AKAs do you have? You got quite a few, don't you?
Greetings, solarkidd, greetings. Yeah, quite a few still, quite a few.
So what is it, like Princess, is it Iman? Princess Iman? Princess Emmanuelle? Empress One?
Yeah, so like when I first started, like, you know, my spoken word and whatnot, it was just Emmanuelle, which is, you know, my birth name. But what happened was, this is like, I don't know, like 99, the year 99 or 2000.
Yeah,
And then what
Emmanuelle's a lovely
happened
name.
was there was like this boy as well on the circuit. He was a singer, but his name was Emmanuelle as well. So he used to appear on some of the flyers that, you know, of like events that I used to do. So so we just changed it up to Princess Emmanuelle. But I mean, Princess was one of my, like, you know, family names anyway. Like my pops used to call me that, my auntie. But then gradually it just developed into Empress One, and then the online link is Empress One Egypt, because obviously, you know, like in the sort of conscious music circle, like so many females are called empresses, right? Just out of respect for like the Rasta community or whatnot.
Yes,
so that's why it was like Empress One and Egypt. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, Princess Emmanuelle is more my poetry name, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And like my youth work name, like the, you know, the name that I use with like the young people and whatnot. And then Empress One's more like, I don't know, more like hip hop reggae vibe. Or
so Empress One is a rapper, a poet. You were a dancer, choreographer as well, actress, social activist as well.
mm-hmm.
I mean, you do a lot of work.
And I would say poetess rather than poet, but yeah.
I don't want to get into that one. Why would you say poetess?
I want to get into the gender discussion.
Why would you say that? Because poet is, there's no gender assigned to it. It's the same like manager, you know what I mean? You don't say manager, do you?
Well, it's like actor, isn't it? But
yeah, even actor, it's non-binary. You don't need to really say actor.
Yeah.
Active.
I think when we were younger, on the word sound power scene, we kind of enjoyed creating our own words and sort of editing, you know, formal words from the English language. And I guess being so in touch with my feminine side, I just thought, you know, just add a bit of poetess sounds quite nice. Gives it a bit of personal identification.
No, I get that. And originally from Egypt, obviously. So when did you come to London? Like, how long have you always?
Partly. So I'm half from Upper Egypt, so Upper Kemet. So Upper being lower in the map. So from the south, my family are from. Half of me is from Upper Kemet, and my other half is Lebanese.
Okay.
Which many people don't know about, but yes, only my close people know that. More time, it's like, Empress, she's Egyptian. It's the side I connect with more so.
Okay, that's an interesting mix anyway. I mean, like both very ancient cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you refer to it as Kemet, so obviously you do like subscribe to a lot of ancient Egyptian philosophy and history.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware that the word Egypt comes from a Greek word called Egyptus. And obviously the Greeks were not the original Egyptians, or were not, you know, they studied in Egypt.
They did rule for a time as well.
Say that again.
They did rule there for a time as well.
Yeah, so basically, like when the Western world is rewriting their version of his story or our story, like we should be aware of that. And even like the Egyptians, say people that work in the tourism field and whatnot, you know, the sort of the education that they're given and the books that they're given to sort of learn and then, you know, become tour guides or whatever the case is also, you know, written or edited by Americans or by the West. So, you know, they end up using these terms as well, when really, you know, in the Egyptian Arabic language, the word for Egypt is Masr. And then obviously in the ancient Nubian and Metu Neter languages of the Pharaoh, the pharaohs, is Kemet is used and Temeré is used. But then there's so many discrepancies about that because, you know, everyone's line of knowledge and research isn't always going to be identical. So people have their different theories, and you just go by what rings true to you. And, you know, for me, the Pan-Africanism of Egypt rings mostly true to me.
Yeah, because I mean, essentially, there'd be many people who would argue that the original Egyptians don't even look like you, like in terms of, you know, the...
Oh, thanks a lot, love.
Well, I mean, I know you're from there, but what I'm talking about is in terms of Nubia. I'm talking about dark skin, you know, which was kind of written out of the history books in that sense, which a lot of, like, you hear with American scholars, you know, they refer to, you know, the Egyptian dynasties and, you know, that kind of thing, drawing on the history of Africa and Kemet.
Yeah, I probably look like a version of Cleopatra because she was mixed with like Nubian and like, you know, some form of European.
I would say that the
Greek
Egyptians
or
were,
whatever.
yeah, I'd say that they were sort of like, what can you say, light brown caramel skin to the darker tones as well, you know. Whereas
Yeah,
a lot of,
I would agree, yeah. I
yeah,
would say
whereas a
that
lot of Westerners or like Europeans would not want to believe that, particularly because a lot of them, well, especially scholars, didn't want to believe that, you know, they were learning from these great African kingdoms, you know.
Indeed, indeed, yeah. Totally. I would totally agree that the original Egyptians were of darker complexion. They were definitely more melanated. There's been so many mixtures in our DNA, in our culture in Egypt. Like you're probably aware, we've got African original people, and within African people, there's so many different tribes. So even, you know, I'll go into that in a minute. And then there's like people that have mixed with Greek, with French, with Turk, with you know, all the different people that stepped into Egypt with, I said French, with English, you know, Assyrian. So
Well,
yeah,
where
I
it's
mean,
situated is pretty, you know, I mean, it's between Europe and Africa. So between, what is the
the Red
Mediterranean?
Sea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like between the Mediterranean above it, like between those countries, there's probably been mixing for like thousands and thousands.
Many centuries. Yeah. I mean, my mum's original people are the Saida people, so they're well known as you know, the roots of Egypt. So it's the roots of Egypt is the Saida and the Nubians, and the Saida are basically a lighter version of the Nubians. So like our people from my mom's side are the Saida, so they're like the brown skin people, probably similar to some of your people in South Africa. Yeah. Even though in Egypt it's not known like, oh, when you're Saidi, that means you're mixed or whatever. They're just known as Saida. But if you're going to look at it from an outside perspective, the Saida people are certainly not Arabs.
Yeah.
Or white Arabs or brown Arabs or whatever. They are Upper Egyptian, like, and they're more ancient and more indigenous people of Egypt, but the Saida and the Nubians have mixed up with all the others in the northern, you know, southern Egypt.
Or something, yeah. But you can see it in places like in like Morocco, with the Berber people who are also kind of a mixture, but more of an ancient established culture, you know, and not particularly Arab, but mixed with, and obviously African heritage, and you know what I mean in that sense as well.
Yeah, definitely. And the Gnawa people, the
Gnawa people, definitely.
You know. So yeah, I mean, in North Africa, yeah, we've got definitely loads of mixtures. I wouldn't say, I mean, some people view it as, oh, like Northern Africa is like white Africa. It's not even really white Africa, because you got white, you got yellow, you got brown, you got caramel. So it's not really nice to generalize. Like even within my own family from my mom's side, like we've got families. We got this family that look more African, this family that look more African Asian, this family that definitely look more Greek. They might be Greek in origin, they might be French in origin. I have no idea, but they definitely look more along that European side of the planet. That, yeah, so it's just mixtures, and mixtures are a beautiful thing. Really, it's, you know, it's what makes us all human.
Yeah, it's ignorance that creates those perceptions, you know, of people and culture and color, skin color, you know, because it's such a silly thing, you know, to define people by, well, I suppose it was something that was created, you know, by the oppressors of the past, you know, for people to look at.
To divide and conquer, definitely.
Yeah, literally divide and conquer.
to make us focus on our differences rather than our similarities, including, you know, our wealth, our status, our class, our color, things like that, our different tribes and languages and religions. It's definitely a means of divide and
So,
conquer.
how old were you when you left Egypt, or did you always?
My story's a bit long, but it's not. So basically, like, I was born here, so I am British, but I didn't live here when I was little.
Okay.
So I was born here, and my family at the time were living in, my immediate family, my parents were living in Dubai. So I went back to Dubai, and then I was there for the first few years. And then I moved to Egypt for a few years. And then we came over to England. And then I grew up in England predominantly, and my education was here, but I would be in Egypt all the time. So all the holidays, I'm like flying out back home. So yeah, so I came to live here, even though I was born here. I came to live here when I was, I think about like between 5 and 6.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
obviously, definitely London. Where West London, obviously, yeah.
West London, yeah. I think originally we were in Earl's School, I think. But anyway, most of my life, since, you know, all my life, probably from the age of like 7 or something, Lancaster Road,
West
Labrador
London,
Road,
baby.
front line, you know, West London, yeah. Just, you know, just on front line between All Saints Road and Lancaster Road. So it's a beautiful area. It's such an eclectic cultural melting point. It's, you know, it is. I've loved living in Grove. I've actually loved it.
Yeah, there's a big part of my London upbringing as well, West London, you know, and Northwest as well, Kilburn, Neasden, Grove, Notting Hill.
My friends
That
are
was on
from
my ends,
Kilburn.
man. That's where most of the people I know are from, you know. So
Yeah, my friends are from Kilburn. So, well, when I was younger, yeah. So that was one of the places we used to hang as well. But from a young age, even though I was living in Grove, like, I stepped out of the area to train, like in the performing arts, in dance, drama, and all these kind of things. I stepped out. I used to travel all the way. Well, first of all, I was near Hammersmith at a performing arts school there, but then afterwards, I used to travel all the way to South, to the Brit School. That was nearly 2 hours, because I get the 52 bus to Victoria, then the overground. It was a trek. It was a trek, but definitely well worth it. Definitely.
So, your background, is it, are your parents Muslim, or, yeah?
My immediate family are Coptic Orthodox. Well, they're not all Coptic Orthodox. My immediate family are Coptic Orthodox and Maronite, and my extended family do have Muslim, you know, people
Tell
married
us
into.
about that. What's that? You said Coptic Orthodox. What's that? Is that Christian, yeah?
Yes, so the Egyptian, from my Egyptian side, Coptic Orthodox. So Orthodox is one of the ancient, if not the most ancient Christianity in the world. And it stems from Africa, so from Ethiopia and Egypt. Yeah, we weren't really involved in the whole slave trade thing that, you know, Catholicism was quite engaged in and was running, yeah. And we use ancient languages, so the Coptic language, which is a mixture of the ancient hieroglyphics and Latin, and it's just and Arabic as well. It's all actually no, Arabic comes after Coptic. So yeah, it kind of fused. And then what else? And then the Ethiopian Orthodox people, they use Amharic and Giz as well. So sometimes you see me, like, I say certain words in Amharic. And then the Maronite is it's a Lebanese form of Christianity. And then, but funnily enough, all my aunties are Muslim, and my godmother is Muslim. It's for us, really, like, when it's like family and like friends of family, like, we don't see religion. I think the issue with religion comes about within society, and, you know, people in power, like political figures and whatever they create, you know, they create the warfare around the world and the indifference. But within, like, your close community, your close circle, it's all love. Like, you know, we fast with each other, we celebrate each other's you know, Eids and Christmases. I mean, that's how it is with me and my aunties and cousins and stuff. It's not like no one's trying to, like, manipulate you into their religion or convince you otherwise, because we respect each other's religions, and we know that we all like are worshipping the Most High in our own way. So, but yeah, nowadays in the West, it's kind of weird. People are all like try to get you to become this and become that. It's like, yo, just respect what we are. Let's tolerate each other, respect each other. That's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I asked because, like, obviously in North Africa and in Saudi Arabia, and that, like, obviously Islam is the most prevalent and dominant religion, and also
in the Middle East and in North Africa. Yep. Because the Arabs conquered Africa, well, predominantly North Africa. Yeah.
But yeah, and being a woman, especially, and being like a young lady, or like, I mean, a woman, especially in the arts, or in something as outspoken as hip hop or spoken word, it must have been quite interesting. It
wasn't just interesting. It was so difficult. It was so difficult.
I can imagine. Because I mean, even in Egypt, like, women are treated like, or I'm not sure now, but I know, like, in most of Saudi Arabia, women are treated as second-class citizens.
Oh no, Saudi is something completely different. Let's not even go there. That's just, I mean, Egypt is more open-minded than many other Arabian countries. So yeah, let's not even go there with the Middle East and the Emiratis and all of that. But I mean the Khalijis. But I can't talk about that because I don't have that experience. But yeah, so basically when I was going back home, and whether I was already training in dance, like professional dance, like ballet, contemporary dance, hip hop, whatever, musical theater, or even when I was a bit older, like 18 or so, and I was getting into the spoken word and gradually the rap and the hip hop, yeah, definitely. In Egypt, it wasn't something that was respected in a woman. Like men, they can do whatever they want with regards to the performing arts. But as a female, whether it's the reaction I would get from my family from Upper Egypt, which would be like, hell no, because, they're from Upper Egypt, they're from the village, isn't it? So it's different. Mentality is completely different. Or whether it's just from general society. There's so much to talk about, so I don't know specifically, but when I was in the rap scene or the poetry, there wasn't really a poetry scene. There is for classical Arabi, but obviously I'm not a classically Arabi poetess, like it's more street poetry, word, sound and power. So I was more put under the category of hip hop when I was in Egypt and performing. So yeah, it was all men on stage anyway. I knew a few girls that would write a little bit in their bedrooms, or we'd be in touch online and stuff, and we said, okay, we'll support each other, we'll collab. But on stage, as a female at the time, from early 2000s, there was no other females doing the rap poetry on stage at the time. Whether the female is Muslim or Christian isn't so much a big thing right now. I think it was more the issue that I was just a female, speaking my own mind, and not just my own mind, just about, social justice, identity, maybe touching upon religion, spirituality, and being in the midst of men on stage or at any venue in the midst of men, basically, or young guys or whatever, young bres. So it wasn't embraced that much. A few of the young brothers were cool and were encouraging and stuff, but some would actually hate on it as well. It'd be like, oh no, like she's gonna steal our limelight or whatever, because it's something new, and being a female, you got your feminine ways and whatnot, but being Coptic also, yes, that would add an extra dimension as well, because like you say, it's like a male-dominated Islamic society. Sometimes it was positive and embraced, and sometimes it wasn't. It all depends on the people you're performing for or being interviewed by, or approaching. It depends on them and their mentality and where they're at, on how they would respond to you.
So did you find it easier then, obviously, to transition? And like, what I'm trying to say is, like, was that a big reason why you didn't continue in Egypt, or did you do more like in London? Like, did you prefer obviously coming? There's obviously
the reason. I actually went and lived in Egypt. So yeah, after uni, I actually went to live there. So I was still performing throughout the time I was living in England, but I said to myself, once I finish uni, I'm gonna go live. And I actually would say to my mum, I would go and live in the village, just because I've always admired just the simple people like the way they live and like the indigenous people. And obviously there's so much beauty around the world, and there's so many different cultures and indigenous people that I could go and chill with, or like, you know, live with and stuff. But I thought, no, let me go to my people, you know. But that wasn't realistic for me. So I did go to Egypt. I did live there, but I would visit Upper Egypt a lot and see my family in Negi Hammadi, and my mom's family's from Suhej and Asyut originally in Upper Egypt, which is the south.
Yeah.
It's an area called Enna, which is just like, so you'd have Nubia here, and it would just be above that, at the bottom of like, you know, Egypt sort of thing. Anyway, yeah, so I just didn't live there because it wasn't realistic. I was going to auditions because I wanted to be in the film industry. I was still performing my rap, poetry, my word sound power, but that wasn't really making any, you know, and you need to survive, right? Like, I'm not like a rich kid coming to Africa and like helping the poor and just self-maintaining myself with my funds. It's not really like that. You know, I was raised as in a single parent family. So it's always been a challenge to sort of rise above and excel and succeed. So what was my point again? Yeah, so I was like trying to enter the film industry as well, going to auditions and stuff. I've lost the plot. What was your question again?
No, you basically telling me like the struggles of trying to make it in Egypt, and
yeah,
you know,
I mean, yeah,
coming out of that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was going to auditions and stuff, yeah, I mean, at least in the West, yeah, you can work your ways into certain roles and whatever, but people usually give you credit based on your experience, your certification, your, you know, your studies, that you've actually graduated from a theater course or from a dance course or from, you know, dance school. But in Egypt, it was more like, yeah, like I didn't want to sell my soul or sell my body to get nowhere. So yeah. And with the music, so why I didn't continue, it's, yeah, so that you can't really self-sustain yourself out there unless you're doing like, you know, commercial Arabi music, and I'm not like a singer like that. So when I was having meetings with some of the labels, they were like, it's too risky for them. No one's really buying hip hop, or, you know, let alone spoken word, forget that, unless it's like classically Arabic. And even if it was classical Arabic, it will be like nice sort of theater venues having like a recitation. It's not like something that's going to get sold in commercial music. And hip hop, they weren't taking no risks. If one or two groups released one or two videos on a major channel like MTV Arabia or Rotana or whatever, it would just be the one-off, like, and they fund it themselves most of the time.
Yeah.
Or, like I say, if you're a female now and you're ready to like give it up or whatever to one of those directors or producers, then good for you. Yeah, and that's the way. Yeah, it was quite disappointing actually. But in the same time, I met some amazing people, had some amazing experiences, had loads of great TV, radio interviews, all the rest, and hopefully added something positive and broke some boundaries, you know, in the Egyptian scene. And nowadays, there's so many females that are rapping and you know, performing and releasing their music, even if it's like for no money, like just for free.
Yeah, I've not seen
doing it. And it wasn't just me. There were other people in like different countries, but in Egypt, no, you know, it was just me and loads of guys that were performing at the time. But in other countries, there were some really nice people, you know, females that are like doing their thing, you know, in other North African and Middle Eastern countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming up now to present times, like you spearheading the this collective called Kamitan Arts, and tell us a bit about that, like.
Yeah. So from a young age in Grove and in London in general, I've always been like running workshops in my community and stuff, like in poetry, in word sound power, in dance, and in a fusion of that, like hip hop theater inspired workshops and projects. So next to my poetry name, Princess Emmanuelle, when there was like promotion, you would always have a dash, Kamitan Arts. And it was like an idea, a concept. Back in the day, I'd just call it an NGO, although it was never like constituted or anything. And And recently it became a formal CIC, you know, but Kamitan Arts, yeah, we run projects in the community, mainly to support people from disadvantaged backgrounds, in a sense that we can offer free professional performing arts workshops and projects that aren't just dancing for dance sake, or, you know, singing for the sake of singing, or acting whatever. No, but with a deeper message and purpose and moral behind what we're presenting. So dealing with social justice, dealing with identity, humanitarian topics, and whatnot. So yeah, so that's what we do, like put on workshops, projects, and sort of life-changing, you know, activities that hopefully allow masses of people to raise their awareness and begin to see things differently.
Currently, every Saturday evening, the virtual acoustic poetry sessions, and on a Wednesday.
Yes, 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 yes. And of course, you are one of our session musicians in-house with the in-house band. So yeah, VAP, the current project now is VAP, which is, like you said, virtual acoustic poetry. It's just an idea that came about since the lockdown, because the Poetry for Grenfell team, which we can go into later anyway, we had a World Poetry Day series of events at the library and at Waterstones in RBKC, which we couldn't go forward with. So I had to adapt lastminute.com literally a few days before it. And I just said, you know what, let's do this online. And that was the inspiration and initial stimuli that got the whole VAP thing running gradually. It was us getting the World Poetry Day events online.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously you guys were very involved and linked to the Grenfell, the Grenfell atrocities, you know, which was a very sad event that took place in West London, for those that don't know. But yeah, tell us about that. Obviously, you guys released a poetry book and supported many people in the community.
Yeah. So, am I all right like that, or do I have to?
Yeah, no, you're fine. You can talk. Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So like I told you, I was raised mostly all my life on Lancaster Road. So that's the other end of the Grenfell Tower. So yeah. So this is where I was living, on Lancaster Road, and All Saints Road is here. And then here you walk down this Portobello. Then the other end, that's where the swimming pools are, Kensington Leisure Centre. And then there's Grenfell Tower. So it was a direct line. It was like, I don't know, like an 8-minute walk or something, right? And when I was young, my best friend lived in the top floor with her family. So I used to always, I've got a lot of memories there. Yeah, so basically when this happened, it shattered us. It shattered all of us completely. It was a terrible disaster. And a lot of us had been affected greatly by it, whether we knew friends or had family in there. So yeah, I just felt I had to support my community in the way that I can. And it wasn't lifting boxes. I've got a serious back injury, so that wasn't my way of helping. My way of helping was through trying to help people heal through the performing art, not even the performing arts, but through the written word and the spoken word. Just because I think it's not like I thought it out, but subconsciously, my subconscious probably like just acted it out, because in my past I had injured my back through my dance training, and it was a big depression in my life, because I was training to be a professional dancer, and it was the spoken word that helped me. It was in Leeds, Chapeltown, Leeds, when I was at Northern School of Contemporary Dance, and Michelle Scally Clark and the Black Child Collective that she invited me to, as well as Black Samurai as well, that was collaborating with me musically. It was the spoken word, the word, sound and power, the rhythm and poetry, the rap, that helped me to empower myself and to channel my emotions and to begin to heal gradually. So I think subconsciously that is what came through when I was thinking about how can I help my people in my community. And I do have to definitely give credit also to my good sister Rebecca from One Love. Is it One Love? Yeah, One Love Grove. Because she also motivated me to sort of get a project together of some sort. Obviously, I didn't initially respond through a project. It was just, let me go and help out at some of these, like, you know, events. Like, for example, there was the relief day. There was a Neliswa and Carol. They were doing this, I think it was called community relief. And they said, you know, Princess, is there anything, you know, I don't know. We just started talking. And then I said, I'll come and do some poetry workshop. It just started organically, really, and Kids on the Green and whatnot. We were getting together, all like the community were talking and saying, how can we help each other? What services can you offer? You know, everyone had their own way of helping. So that was my way of helping. And then obviously months later, like, you know, 6-7 months later, whatever, after we've been volunteering, we wanted to set up something regular to sustain the workshops, to support our community. And that's where the Poetry for Grenfell workshops came about from. And then the idea of getting a book together, it was just spontaneous. I've been a poetess for many years, like since early 2000s. I've never personally published a book. I've contributed towards anthologies and whatnot, but it was just, again, it was a spirit thing. Like, you know, my spirit just reacted and thought, let's get a book together, or try to anyway. It wasn't like definitely manifested. We didn't have no money for it or whatever. It was just acting upon my vision, upon my impulse, my intuition. Do you understand? So we put a call out for anyone that wanted to, you know, contribute a poem of any sort. And that's how we got the Poetry for Grenfell book together. But it ended up not just being poems. It was, let me see if I could sort of show you, how do I do this? It was like also like pictures, you know, it could be pictures. I don't know how to do this well. Let me do it this way. It could have been, you know, photos or pictures that were drawn. We did a short film as well, also called Poetry for Grenfell. Again, it was just a guerrilla film. It wasn't like greatly edited or any great equipment or whatever. And Portobello Film Festival gave us a Best Art Award. I think they were just being genuine to support the community.
No, but I think it was awesome. I think it was a beautiful initiative. Like, I mean, I was lucky to be involved in the, what was it, the 2-year anniversary recently. Was it the 2-year anniversary?
With us, do you mean?
Yeah,
Was that
yeah,
with us? It was the 3-year.
The 3-year anniversary. And I mean, like, just being a part of that, like, there was
online,
such a powerful spirit, you know, and sentiment, and all the people involved, the people who contributed and the people who spoke, like, I mean, I felt it, like, you know, I mean, it was really a heartfelt and a beautiful thing to witness and be a part of.
Yeah, and what's great is that we don't like discriminate in any way. So irrespective of what country you're from, what language you talk or write in, how old you are, you know. So we had, I've got a nice poster here, if it might not show, but anyway, yeah. So, you know, we had 3-year-olds to 77-year-olds involved in the project. You know, it was just, again, it was organic. It wasn't like some big project. It was just different workshops here and there. You know, the email contribution for people to send poetry. So yeah, and yeah, we crowdfunded for it because we had been in conversation with different publishers, but the problem is when it comes to publishers, there's going to be a bit of a bias, or they're going to want you to take out something or to water down something, or do you understand? So I felt, you know what, I'm going to put that to a halt for now. The best way forward is to self-publish, so then we can be in control of what we want to share. So the first edition is raw. There isn't anything taken out of that. It's literally raw. But then we have a second edition as well that is more family friendly, basically.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, so we've got poems in Egyptian Arabic, in Spanish, in Amharic. There's also my uncle, not my blood uncle, but my uncle's nephew, Allah yarhamu, God rest his soul, Uncle Hisham Rahman. So his his family contributed one of his poems because he's a poet as well. He's a musician. He's, you know, he comes from an artistic family. So this is a person that passed away in the fire. And his poem before Grenfell happened, you know, this is something that he wrote, and it's called My Will.
Wow.
So we've included that, and his nephew Omar read it out at the Poetry for Grenfell book launch at the Bush Theatre. He read it out for us, and he was the first, you know, relative of a bereaved relative that was given a Poetry for Grenfell book, because as part of the crowdfunding, you know, to raise the money to print it, we said we'd give, initially we said we'd give 200 free copies, but we've given so much more than that. But yeah, to immediately bereaved families and survivors. So yeah, Omar was the first one to get a book from Kamitan Arts at the P4G book launch at the Bush Theatre.
Yeah, so you'll give me some links and that for you know, for the projects as well, so people can check it out if they still want to get copies, or if there's any of
yeah. So since the P4G, we still wanted to continue supporting our community, but we realized that using the word Grenfell was a bit too sensitive for some people. Some of our participants, you know, had one or two had sort of stopped participating, or they felt it was too sensitive. So I decided we still want to continue with the same support of, like, you know, poetry, spoken word, movement, live music, etc. Well, basically before it was just the poetry, but then we've developed it into bringing in different disciplines, different artistic disciplines to help with the healing and the creative process. So then the project was lyrical art for children and young people in Latimer and in Grove at the Harrow Club and at Octavia's The Reed Centre. And then the parents and the grandparents that were dropping off the children were like, is there nothing for the adults? So we gradually also developed poetic art, which was for adults and elderly, that took place at the Kensington Reformed Church in Kensington. And yeah, and all of these projects were supported by the Westway Trust and RBKC Arts Grant, basically. So we'd never sort of tapped into any of that sort of big Grenfell funds, you know, that were about. Just because I felt that should just be for the families.
Yeah,
you know. But then some of the funding was actually for artistic creation and projects, but I just never felt right about it. So I just went to the normal, you know, went for normal artistic funding that was just general for like community, cultural. Do you get what I mean? Not specific for Grenfell. The only time, I will admit, the only time I did was the recent Grenfell fund. I was sort of convinced, you know, why don't you're doing good works, whatever. So yeah, but that was a bit of a mistake on my behalf, honestly, because unfortunately, you know, the council had us all up in arms with each other, like competing against some money to help our community, you know, get over Grenfell. So I was in tears all day. It was a pitch. You had to pitch on a stage, and it was originally meant to be at the Harrow Club, which is not so bad, right? It is Latimer, but it's not right outside Grenfell. Like, it's not like you're going to see it, like, unless you look, you know. But they moved it, lastminute.com, they moved it to Kensington Aldridge Academy.
Okay, wow.
Car, like Kamitan Arts, car. There's the bar and the car in ancient Kemet. It's a car like us, Ka, which is the personality side of your person, your being, your soul, the living soul, the car. Anyway, it was there, so it was too emotional for me personally. I was just bawling in tears all day. Yeah, from even before going up on stage, and I cleared my tears, and then they did the 72 seconds of silence. So then I was just bawling again, and then it was crazy. It was, yeah, I didn't really enjoy that process, and I won't be doing it again.
No, I can imagine.
But it was lovely to see all the great initiatives in the community, like all the people that have great sort of positive healing projects to offer. And, you know, really, I'm talking too much, aren't I?
No, this is
thing. I'm just chatterboxing. Oh my gosh.
This
Are
is
you
very
still
good.
there? Knock, knock.
I'm still,
um,
I'm still here. Yeah.
yeah, the council should just fund it all. They got enough money to do that. They should just
Yeah,
fund it all.
they should
It
do.
was more like they got this amount. What was it? 600,000 to share out between so many projects or whatever. It should have been like a Hunger Games scenario.
Yeah, especially when it's community based and for something with such a, that's like
Yeah, I
such a
wasn't really
sensitive.
happy about that, to be honest with you.
So, Princess, just change the, well, not to change the narrative or topic. Just in closing, you wanted to, would you like to share a piece with us and bless us with some word sound power?
Yeah, why not? Can I just, because I got these ready, can I just give you a little look on some of these
Yeah, sure.
CDs?
Let's
So
have a bit of a.
I just pulled it out lastminute.com, right? So I might as well show you. So yeah, so my journey's been from the spoken word to, some sort of rap and reggae influence.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, Princess got bars, man.
world music influences as well. So my first album and project as a spoken word artist was the Born Into a Drowning World album, which I will actually, can I share a screen on my side? Let me see if I've got the image here. 1 minute. Born Into a Drowning World. Right. If I've got the image, let's see. I probably don't even have the image here. That's the funniest thing. Anyway, I'll show you the image of the Born Into a Drowning World album, which is the first album I released as a spoken. So I was deciding in the early 2000s, do I bring out a book or do I release a song or an album? And I decided spoken word with musical backing is the way forward for me. So this was launched at the Tabernacle.
Cheers.
Yeah, 2001. Here we go. It's not the full album cover, but it's better than nothing. Let's see if I can share the screen with you.
Can you?
Share screen. Oh, host disabled.
You can't.
Can you give me share screening rights? Do you know how to do that if you press on participant?
Yep. There you go.
Because I don't have the physical album on me, like, for some reason. Once you've done that, let me know.
Yeah. It's done.
It's done. So share screen. So just to give you an image to see. So this was me in my younger days. Just outside my room in Lancaster Road. Born Into a Drowning World. So stop share.
Nice.
Okay. So I collaborated with the Kindred Spirit band there. Also, I believe Uncle Niles played something for me there also.
Niles.
And we've got some lovely collaborations there. Anyway, soon after that, the Rise Above the Waters EP. So these were both at Dub Vendor and also at People Sound on All Saints Road and Sound Records as well on Portobello Road that ain't no longer there. And Scribes UK online. Anyway, and then I was just rolling with these kind of EPs. I featured with Mr. Kick from up north, from Leeds, on his Cause and Effects album, Justice System. But before that, I think that was in Tower, is it called Tower Records?
Tower Records.
But before that, I was invited on some collaborations with the Black Samurai Collective.
Sick.
So they're mainly a bunch of male rappers, all different rappers coming together. But they had 3 female guests or artists that would collaborate with them. So they had a rapper, a singer, and a poetess. I was the poetess, and we've got a few tracks. So for example, my track Unjust, which is heavily connected with the film about deaths in police custody, Injustice, because I was on tour with them, families and friends of those that have died in police custody. So that was produced by Black Samurai and features Black Samurai as well. So yes, and this was a flyer I was rolling with in Egypt. Don't know if you can see it. Princess Emmanuelle, what does it say? Does it say rap poetess, rap poetry with a MySpace link, if you remember that?
Please, MySpace.
And then, yeah, from Egypt to the UK. That would change a lot. Sometimes it would say from the UK to Egypt. Sometimes it would say from Egypt to the UK. Whichever direction I was going, anyway, yeah, so you want to hear, so I had sort of prepared an old track, which I have not spat any lyrics to for probably like 2 decades, called Come Correct with the Truth. I thought I'd share it with you. Okay, or there's the recent Ana Faraona, which has a bit of Egyptian, as you like. I just thought it up last night, you know,
whatever you're feeling, give us sign. Yeah.
Whatever I'm feeling. Well, I kind of feel I might just give you a snippet of each if we have time. I'm just thinking what to play it off. Do I play it off my phone?
Yeah, just
playing it off my phone here is a good idea. Let's try that out. Right, let's see how that goes. Like I say, these lyrics I'm about to share with you, I was just looking through some old albums. So one of my old school producers is Ras Kali.
Okay.
Who's originally from the Gambia. I mean, he's British, but West London, but originally from Gambia. Big up Ras Kali! Yeah, he probably hasn't heard from me for quite a while. So I just thought, yeah, because I'd collaborated in this tune with Killer from X-Rated, who's a well-known hip-hop group from Ladbroke Grove, X-Rated. So Killer was on this as well, originally. Audio. Yes, I've not even spat these lyrics for time. So it's quite exciting just, having a listen and going over it briefly yesterday. So I thought, let me share it. This was me in my younger days, Princess Emmanuelle days. So I'm going to play the music and just let me know if you can hear it. All right. Give me a sec.
Going in.
One. Right, I'm gonna play the music. Let me know, if you can hear the music and me in the same time. All right.
Yeah.
Can you hear the backing music?
Yeah, turn it down a touch.
Turn down the music or my voice?
Keep the voice the same. Turn down the backing music.
Okay. Can you hear?
We want to hear the lyrics more than anything. The music.
Right, let me know. Can you hear the music and me?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this track was produced by Ras Kali. So this is me back in the day when I first started getting into the whole hip hoppy thing, right? So this is how it went, yeah.
Come on.
All right. You better come correct before you get me vexed. Don't think that you can mess, you know what to expect. The uppermost respect is what you should express. You know you should never test this lyrical Empress. Mash you like a game of chess. Better come correct now, better come correct. Mash you like a game of chess. No need to detest, stay true to yourself. Don't make a fool of yourself. All you heads better be cautious, cause we storm true ferocious. That you know that the Empress is raucous. Lethal and lyrical, better come with precaution. We stay true to the mission and we focus. You ask or to us. Most high that brought us. Blessed us lyrically, cause creatively we got to be. Spiritually and mentally, we're on point. Physically, intellectually, we mash up any joint. When our third eye activates, there's no need to debate. Better come to relate to the truth. If you just wanna battle, then you're just gonna lose. Just gonna lose, just gonna lose. Yeah. Ras Kali, we're feeding off the devil's money, reaping off the dirt they call sweet honey. Hypervolo is what the propaganda undergoes. They don't know what we go through for the truth to be known. Struggle and resistance, trying to rightly inform this drowning system without any support or assistance. But we follow through with persistence, yes, we follow through with persistence. How do we ever learn if it's drug money that we earn, putting the use behind bars of mental oppression? You think they've learned their lesson? Miseducation isn't exactly a blessing. But we sow what we reap and we reap what we sow. And if you don't know, then you better start to get to know. Cause it's just as what we earn, it's through bloody what we earn. Caught up in the hype of spiritual depression. It's a lesson. lesson in disguise. Gotta see through the lies. Those that don't even try to compromise or sacrifice. Chat their crap, but we see it in the eyes. Chat their crap. Yes, we see it in the lies. See it in the lies. We try and analyze, criticize and publicize their stories of the truth, the truth. But the truth is that they're representing oppression and segregation, depressing and miseducating our youths, not teaching them any truth, not teaching them any truth. You better come correct before you get me vexed. Don't think that you can mess, you know what to expect. The uppermost respect is what you should express. You know you should never test this lyrical Empress. And that was come correct with the truth. Yes. So that was one of my earlier. Ooh, I'm trying to find you again. Where have you gone? Ooh, where are you? There you are. Yeah. So that was one of my earlier sort of vibes when I started collaborating with music. Come correct.
Nice. Big tune.
Yeah. But yeah. So
do you have were you gonna do some poetry as well?
Yeah, I've got like an Egyptian mixed one, so you can either hear it a cappella or with a little backing. It's up to you either way.
No, give it to us a cappella, man, and maybe take off the echo on your microphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sounds better without.
1, 2. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
okay. Yeah, all right.
Give it to us
a cappella.
Rough, rugged, and raw.
Yeah.
For you and yours.
Right. Have a little stretch. Right. I've got my green jasmine tea here.
Nice.
Okay. So this is called Ana Faraona. So I'll just give you a little mix of it. So, so that means I am a pharaohess, Ana Faraona. So, okay. ألف بحمزة ميم به سين واحد. They call me Empress, one rapper hating from Kemet. Kemet meaning Masr in the ancient mother tongue. Kemet must temere Muldonia, that's one. I will bent a rapper famous, that's me. Rapping Bill Masri will Ingilizzi. Poetry to your ears so you don't wanna leave. Music sounding so sweet, ringing true harmony. They call me Empress one, well at name or free. Show much respect to those that respect me. Tuning in every day, repping the revolution. Empress one showing love to the other side of the sun. أنا فرعونة بنت فرعونة عشان كده بيسموني الإمبراطورة الأولى. أنا فرعونة بنت فرعونة عشان كده بيسموني I chose to be Egyptian because I'm a feminist. Trace the roots of my mama because it's my lineage. Omi min Masr, Masr min dunya. Zay for yom to your heritage. He gave me the choice and I chose it. True favorite Empress and I know it. Feel it through my veins, my body and my soul. It's min Imbradura Ula because I own it. If you disagree, then you're simply in denial. Don't like what you see when I is what you aspire. Chit chat, hate, gossiping, I see. You should channel that hate energy to positivity. Why live a fallacy? See why be in denial? Open up your heart, live to love, live to inspire. Why be so hostile when we be children of the Nile? As Damien Nas put it, we be distant relatives, my child. أنا فرعونة بنت فرعونة عشان كده بيسموني الإمبراطورة الأولى. I'm a pharaohess of a pharaohess, that's why they like to call me Empress one bless. I'm a pharaohess, daughter of a pharaohess, that's why they like to call me Empress one bless. أنا فرعونة بنت فرعونة عشان كده بيسموني الإمبراطورة الأولى. أنا فرعونة بنت فرعونة عشان كده بيسموني الإمبراطورة الأولى.
Jeez.
It gets a bit tongue twisty when I'm trying to literally translate the Egyptian Arabic chorus into English, because that wasn't in the original lyrics. I just do that when I'm like in front of an English.
So is that what you're doing? You're actually like explaining the Egyptian Arabic into English.
The chorus. أنا فرعونة بنت فرعونة. I'm a pharaohess, daughter of a pharaohess. عشان كده بيسموني الإمبراطورة الأولى. That's why they call me Empress one. Except in the Egyptian Arabic, I don't say bless, but it kind of sounds good in English.
Yeah, it's sick. Thank you so much. Yo.
You're welcome. It's one
people.
bless. I always say like Unkwe Jasenib, one bless,
One
which
bless. Empress
life,
one.
good health and prosperity in Metu Neter, the ancient Egyptian African language. So
Jeez.
Unkwe Jasenib to you.
Thank you. Ankwe Jisenep. Ankwe Jisenep. Nice.
We never really know how it's pronounced, you know. We just we assume it's pronounced that way. It might not be pronounced that way, you know. It's just through the research that the Egyptologists come up with, like Anthony T. Browder, Dr. Moata Ashby, whoever else, you know. You never know if it's pronounced like that. It could be Unk Uja Seneb, it could be, you know, because we didn't have the vowels. So you don't really know how it's really pronounced, you know. But yeah.
No, but thank you so much, Empress. Is there like anything you want to leave us with just before we finish up? I mean, that was awesome, like listening to your stories and learning a bit more about you.
Thank you. Just to say thank you to you and for all that you do. And thank you to everyone for supporting each other and being so caring and selfless and strong throughout this pandemic, you know, just, you know, seeing over and beyond the struggles and, you know, seeing through to the horizon and always having that hope and that faith, you know, because we shall overcome. So it's all about keeping the faith and the strength, the inner strength alive and supporting each other. And just sharing the love, you know. So most high blessings to you all. Ankwe Jaseneb, Empress One Egypt. Thank you very much to the other side of the sun, solarkidd.
Thank you, people.
And yeah, find us online. You're going to share the links, aren't you? Like Empress One Egypt, Poetry for Grenfell, and Kamitan Arts. So.
Yes, I'll put them all in the description. And this has been the Other Side of the Sun podcast with me, the solarkidd. We've had the lovely Empress One on today. And yeah, thank you so much for coming, for blessing us with your presence. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment if you can. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. And yeah, peace and love.